Hello and welcome back to New Mystery of the Emblem. We are here, the Endgame, the final chapter. We're going to face Medius. Glass axe. Okay. That probably doesn't actually help. Alright, so I've gotten a fair number of comments talking about how difficult of a fight this is. Wow, we've started kind of far away. That's annoying. And that has come with some idea of what to expect. So, that being said, I'm still not entirely sure what, strategy I'm going to need to adopt here. My plan is to... So, obviously, at this point, it's time to stop saying, oh, I might need this later, I might need this later, and just, expend all my resources. However, I think, with respect to forging specifically, I'm gonna just try to kind of play the chapter and get a sense for what I'm going to need to do before I go back and forge something, because I don't want to have to go through all of the mental effort of trying to figure out what I need to sell and whatever, and then forge something only for it to turn out that that's not the thing I needed to forge. Maybe I need to forge an anti-dragon weapon, or maybe I just need to forge something to hit Medius with. I don't really know. I'm assuming that, like last game, he's not vulnerable to the anti-dragon stuff, so I don't know how exactly we would tell if that was the case. But I guess he does have a different icon than the other dragons, is one indicator. His is a different color, at least. It's otherwise pretty much the same, but yeah. And then we've got to we got to bring Julian, Minerva, Merrick, and Sirius, which is pretty annoying. We want to recruit all of these bishops, which I imagine that we do. Got to get the full recruitment, right? I guess we already don't have full recruitment, actually, because we killed Katarina, but what can you do? So, let's figure out who we're planning to bring. I'm assuming Zane cannot use the falchion, even if... and speaking of which... Where that at? Okay, 12 might, but I believe it does have effective damage, so it's effectively 36 might. So he should... Plus 24, his attack will be 65, I believe. So he'll be doing 23 damage to Medius, which is decent, I guess. Can he survive a counterattack? 60 attack? No. So that's good to know. We know we're going to be giving Marth Speed Booster again, so we should give him that. Speed Potion, and we do have a Defense Potion. Only one. We can use that. We do also have the Defense Up staff, so we can use that if we need to. Nobody's going to be able to double Medius, so we don't necessarily care about that, but we do care about not getting doubled. And that is probably going to be a bit of a trick. But before I worry about that, let's... Okay, so we're for sure going to bring, I guess, Minerva and... Where are these other units? Somewhere, probably already passed some of them. So many units. Okay, there's Merrick. It's frickin' Julian. Oh, there he is. And then Sirius. Okay. I'm also gonna dump inventories, I mean, yours probably doesn't matter, but I'm gonna do it anyway. That should be it. I don't think we got any other units that were had inventories in between, right? Because we didn't get anybody after Nagi, so yeah. Okay, that should be good. All right, so we get to bring 5 more units. We're gonna want. We're almost certainly gonna want to bring Militia, I would think. And Zane. I could imagine bringing Nagi and or Tihi for fighting dragons. Do we have any more strength boosters? If we do. We have the energy drop. That's right. That's right. Okay. We'd also consider giving Militia this magic potion. Or, yeah. That's... If we keep you as a sword master, we give you the energy drop potentially. What are the other class options that we have that actually are fast enough not to get doubled? That's it. I guess sniper. Surely sniper does less damage. So we want to keep you as a sword master, which means we probably want Sirius to be one as well. Although, if his job is to run up and recruit, he might want to be in a higher move class, but consider that. We should also reclass Merrick into something with more movement, like Cavalier probably is the highest. And then... we can't reclass Julian. Okay, fine. Yeah, so then I guess for the last 3 units, it's just going to be some combination of these 6, presumably. I don't know what exactly. Curiosity. You don't have any other options either that don't get doubled. We don't really have any. I guess we don't. Yeah, we don't have any other high-level melee units. Somebody was talking about berserkers, but we don't have anybody who can like be a berserker. So I guess that's not gonna be an option. So. There isn't really much in the way of like getting to Midius in terms of these dragons, so depending on how quickly we can engage him, we don't necessarily need too much in the way of dragon killing, but if we take our time, then we do, and that's going to be the question, right? I think I said this last time. If there aren't reinforcements, you know, we can kind of try to pick off the dragons one by one and take our time. If there are reinforcements, which honestly seems more likely, then we potentially want to try to go fast. Although going fast here, I don't know exactly what that's going to entail, but Adius does have 0 luck. What is Marth? What is your? You do have cap skill, so you have 17 crit. Why is it 17? I don't know. I think we've had this point of confusion before. Like if I undeploy you, is it still 17? Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. So I'll make the assumption that it will in fact be 17. We do have a skill book too we can use to boost crit if we don't need to sell it for a forge or something. But in any case, so like suppose we crit with Marth. He does 23 times 3 is 69 damage. Nice. And then we need another 30 damage. 17 crit isn't super likely. But what we could potentially have Marth attack twice with like the again staff or a dance or something like that. So 26 magic. I don't know. I assume your magic cap is not 27, so you're gonna have 28 if you use the potion. Which means you're doing tome -2 damage, which is not impressive. We're talking about using magic damage as well, but so that was 13 base might. So 13 might would be 11 damage plus forging. I think that was the thing that was... Or you take the Starlight and you do 15 damage. Okay, that's not too bad. Not a very high crit rate on that, unfortunately. Oh man. It's too bad she can't use the aura, although I think... I would guess that the aura isn't forgeable, so maybe it doesn't actually matter anyway. Let's see if we can. Confirm or deny that. I don't know why it matters actually, but I'm curious. Yeah, not forgeable. I've assumed this wouldn't be, so yeah, it doesn't actually matter. It would be nice to have the extra point of damage, but like we can consider as a starting point if we ignore forging for a second. You say, okay, you're going to use the magic potion. Who else would? So you might as well just do that. There you go. 46 attack. So 16 damage. Marth's doing 23. If we dance for him, he does 46. This is... we can use the again staff twice if we bring another healer. And then he can get the 69 damage without needing a crit. Although he would need healing in between each attack, so maybe that doesn't actually work. 135 hit is not as high as some things, but I guess Marth still isn't dodging that. Right. So how much damage did you do? Strongest sword we have is the Mercurius. Your attack is 44 with that, so you're doing like 4 damage? 2 damage. Okay, that's not very good. If you take the energy drop, maybe you're doing 3 or 4 damage. It's still pretty bad. Yikes. So... yeah. And there's like not really... So, I mean, I guess that's where the forging is supposed to come in. So you forge like a 22 might sword, and then you're doing 8 damage? That's still pretty lousy. I mean, if it had gobs and gobs of crit, and you could do 24 damage, that wouldn't be so bad. But yeah, I guess I can see why one might want a Berserker. I literally have nobody who can, like, do that, though. Like, Sirius doesn't have access to it. What, like, Drog probably does, but it's still only 24 strength, C rank axes. Assuming that Silver Axe is also 12 might, which might not actually be accurate, but that's not actually much better. It's 14 might. It's 24 and 14 is 38. When you go up to 48, it's 6 damage. It's not impressive. Somebody who could use the Hawk Claire, actually, they wouldn't do as much as a Forged Silver Axe anyway. Yeah. I don't know. How much? So Silver Lance is 13, and the Gradavis is 19. So that's not terrible, I guess. Except I don't know what lance class you could be in that doesn't get doubled. So there's that. There is that. Guess in theory an A-rank bow user could use the Parthia. I guess Silver Bow would be better anyway, but yeah, the only one of those we have is George, who doesn't have high strength. So yeah, this is seems more straightforward to try to just, I mean, honestly, to just try to crit with Marth. If Marth were to crit and then get healed, we can use Zane as a healer, right? We can Physic or Fortify. We probably can't heal Marth enough without a recover from a distance. So we either have to go up there with him, or we have to, like, double heal him. If Marth got a crit once, 69, and then made another attack for another 23, that's 92. And then you would need... Then the Forge... Silver Sword actually would do enough damage to kill. And then the other way to approach that would be to say, we're going to have the Swordmaster attack first, and then maybe you don't even need to heal Marth at that point. If you get the crit with Marth on the first attack, or if the Swordmaster can crit, both or something. So that's probably the play, is to forge the Silver Sword. I said I wasn't going to do the forge, but now I'm reconsidering that. Because if we forge a tome and we attack with Militia, Militia's got to be the last, or Zane copying Militia, whatever. Militia's got to attack last because she gets doubled, and then that also means she can't be healing. We might even want to bring Etzel, even though his healing is not as good, just because, like, if we do go for, like, some kind of quick clear attempt, we're going to want more staff users. So maybe that's the thing to try, actually, and, like, forget about whether there's a lot of... I mean, we've got to... The problem is we have to recruit all those... Oh, but you know what? If we recruit these guys, we get a bunch of healing. Weak healing, but healing nonetheless. Yeah. Well, between the 4 of them, surely they could heal Marth to full. We could bring them a recover, too. Let's see. C, A, B. What level is... B. Okay, so 3 of the 4 of them can use a recover. Okay. So we get 2 again staves. We got a Hamern that maybe it turns out we should have used on this rescue, and then we've got the rescue. As well as the speed and defense, if that matters, which it probably doesn't. But, like, okay, so suppose... We're gonna have to take a turn to, like, just get up here, I imagine. But, like, suppose... So Marth needs to get to, like, here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7... Yeah, he can't even get there that quickly, so maybe even 2 turns to get into position. Unclear, but so maybe we bring, like, Nagi. Nagi's not going to one-shot this guy, though. 81 is definitely higher than what their HP plus defense had been before. Damn. If Lena was switched with Nina, what we could have done was had Sirius, like, run up, kill this guy, and then talk to Nina, or well, the other way around. But you know what I mean. With a Worm Slayer. Actually, maybe he wouldn't have went around it anyway. Probably wouldn't. Now that I think about it. If Marth didn't start in the middle, then I wouldn't be worried about killing this guy. But he does, which means that it's going to be faster for him to get to here than it is for him to get to the other squares. Although, if we have to spend a second turn getting him up there, then it doesn't necessarily matter. We do have our Dancer, but I'm assuming we're going to want our Dancer available for, like, healing or attacking twice or something. Okay, but let's... You're going to take one of these again staves. You're going to take another one. I'm sure we're going to want to use them. We should also grab each of you a Fortify and a Recover. Fortify and a Recover, and then we'll probably want Sirius to be carrying another Recover to trade to the healers, and maybe something else too. I'm not really sure. Or we could trade them the rescue staff, and then they could rescue. Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. Like, rather than, I would... If we run him forward, we could rescue Marth forward if we needed to. Although now that I'm thinking about it... So if we hammer in the rescue, it has 5 uses, yeah? So... we rescue... Like, Sirius has to go up there under his own power. But then... Nina could rescue, like... He talks to Nina, and then she rescues... one of the others. Yeah, I guess it doesn't really matter as long as they're standing in the right spot. So we do like a rescue chain thing, get them all recruited, and then we've used up a lot of our resources to do that, and they're all vulnerable. But if somehow we could then kill Medius at the same time, it'd be pretty good. I don't know if that makes sense or not. I'm gonna think of it, it doesn't need to be serious. If If we leave Sirius as a Swordmaster, which maybe we shouldn't, right? I mean, if we're gonna have one Swordmaster attack, then we could have two Swordmasters attack. They both survive. I mean, Sharur survives comfortably. Sirius will survive. Does have more than, you know, does have enough HP plus defense. Sirius is gonna do less damage, but maybe like having two chances to crit is relevant. And then it could be Merrick who starts off running up there because... Oh, but Merrick has to get to the back. That's awkward. Julian has less movement. Minerva! Right. Minerva has the most movement. Okay. To start with Minerva. And give her the staves. So she runs up, talks to Maria. Let me make sure how this... The rescue is... Oh, anybody can use the rescue. What was the staff that wasn't true of? Maybe it was the Hamern. We do need to Hamern the rescue staff if we're going to do this. Which I think Militia has to do... So there you go with that. Oh right, we've got Zane. Another fortify. I guess a physic. Maybe take these two in case they matter, maybe. Probably won't. We'll just have him copy Militia, I think. And, yeah. Maybe this is more healing than I'm gonna need, but whatever. So we do have the two again staves. So if we do the rescue chain, we can... The last rescue can be of Marth, right? And then we can dance... I think this works. So we... Marth can be wherever, if he's gonna get rescued forward. Sharur can run, get danced, run again. And then we have two again staves, one of which is going to go for Marth, and one of which can also go for Sharur. And I guess, we're not going to be able to recruit one of these guys and talk to, or attack Medius at the same time with Sirius. So maybe Sirius just can't attack. Maybe that's okay. But given that, we probably don't need to kill this dragon. I think, so the idea here would be... Alright, let me look at what else we have in terms of these boosters. So we got the secret book. We got speed, luck, res, and skill. But you guys are both capped on skill, so you can't get any more likely to crit than you already are. It's just a... I think we still end up needing a crit unless we can get... some other source of damage involved. Which I guess we can. Now that I think about it. Like, Pala could run up. Pala's got... Well, Pala's only got Sea Sword, so actually... Sirius does more damage. But Sirius... can't... I don't think there's any way for Sirius to attack. He's got to stand... here, here, or here. And also, Pala can't use a Forged Silver Sword. But we could have somebody else on standby ready to get the killing blow. And that could be like... Katria, or... Probably not Pala, because she doesn't have the... Oh, wait. Maybe Axe Rank. We probably do want Axe Rank for that, because we probably want to use the Hawk Claire. If we're going to forge a sword, the Hawk Claire is the highest damage other weapon. So we can have you go back to Draco Knight. If we give you a Hawk Claire. What's Medius' Avoid? This could be relevant. 30. That's not that bad. Okay. Oh, but he is on an altar. Okay, so it's actually 50, so it could be bad. He could definitely... Katria could definitely miss. But... 42 attack. That doesn't do any damage. Alright. So, never mind. Damn! See, that was why I was thinking trade the sword, right? That was where I was going with all, this earlier, is if we have... we could have, like, Merrick, you know, recruits Maria. Maria moves a bit to rescue... I don't know. Or no, sorry, not Merrick. Minerva recruits Maria, and then Maria moves to rescue Merrick or whatever. And then, like, Char runs up and attacks, and then we do more rescuing, and then we like, trade... One of the people who talks could trade the sword, but I don't think we have anybody else who could actually effectively use it, because... Well, it could be Zane. If we think we don't need Zane as a healer, Zane could copy Char, and then Zane could do it. That might actually be the way to go. And also... should be giving you the energy drop, if this is the plan. Yeah, I'm thinking... give you the Mercurius, just in case it turns out to be awkward to do the trade. But I think that is actually the way to go, is forget Zane being a healer. We'll have enough healing, I think. I hope. Maybe that's not true. Well, I guess what matters is whether we actually land that crit or not. Like any crit, I guess. Because if they're doing like 8, what is it? It was like 8, something like 8 damage to Medius. Maybe it'll be more after using the energy drop. I don't know. At most it's 10, but maybe it's 9 or 8. I don't know. So we're talking about like 24 to 30 damage. Because, I mean, if it is 30, then that plus a Marth crit would be enough right there. But anyway, if Marth gets to attack twice and doesn't crit, it's 46 damage, which leaves 53, right? He's at 99 HP. 323 is 46. Yeah, so 53. How did I think this was gonna work? I mean, Marth will have 2 chances to crit himself, but we can get. All right, I should actually try to do the math on where your damage is exactly. So we're forging a silver sword, a 38 attack. Let's go ahead and, I guess, use the energy draw. Yeah, I was afraid of that. Okay, 39 becomes 49 attack, so you're actually only doing 7 damage? Ugh. Oh, it's disgusting. 7 damage. So if you crit, you're doing 21 damage. So even if you crit twice, that's only 42. Which means that we really just need Marth to crit, which is not that likely. I mean, I guess, yeah, because we could forge the Silver Sword to have more crit on it. We can't forge the Falchion to have more crit on it. Fortunately, that. Oh, but we get. Oh, right. Catria can't actually do damage. And there's no way that it makes sense to undo and give her the energy drop instead so that she can do 2 damage. Ugh. And Pala doesn't have the high rank axes. She's got 4 more strength. So she'd be able to do 4 damage with the Hawk Clear, but she can't use it. Sheeta's situation is even worse. And it doesn't. There's nothing. There's nothing we can do as serious. So, like, yeah, we're basically just fishing for Marth to crit. There might not be a way around that. If Marth does crit, and he like, that's 69 damage, another 23 is 92, and then the non-critting Silver Sword is enough. So, yeah, it's just, the Zane thing doesn't even matter, really. It just all comes down to whether we can get Marth to crit. Which is disappointing. Unless we can find a way to make one other attack. But I don't know how we do that. Don't know how we would do that. Doesn't seem... I mean, I guess if we can get Minerva in range, we can probably get... Well, wait, we don't need Sirius to be a Swordmaster if he's not going to attack. So then we can use one rescue on Fina, maybe? And then we can get another attack in? Maybe? That might do the trick. Might do the trick. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and do the forge. Let me see how much it costs. $56,000. Cool. What happens if we stack 10 crit on it? Oh, you can put 30 crit on it? Holy. That's a lot of money. Alright. Before we do that, let's save here, and then I'm gonna plan to save in a different slot, because this is going to be some real serious selling going on. There's no reason to hang on to this, right? But you know what? I shouldn't forge... I should forge the 6-use ones, that I can sell the other one for more. Goodbye, everything in my inventory. It was nice knowing you. I guess I'll keep the worm-slaying weapons for now, because I could still need them, and if I can... Like, there's no way we need more than 6 uses of this if this goes well. And if it doesn't, then we'll just reconsider. Yeah, we'll hang on to the Worm Slayers for now. The Master Sword... Could that possibly be useful? Man, selling the Brave Sword is so feels bad. Oh my god. Wait, is forging the Glass Sword cheaper? Even if it's not... I mean, it doesn't sell for anything, and the Silver Sword does, but... Oops, too far. It is cheaper! What?! Incredible! I mean, I guess it makes sense in other contexts. I mean, we could totally get a bunch of crits with this. Alright, that's... Yeah. Yes. We might not even need to have sold all this stuff just to get that much money, but... I guess we still need a fair amount, but... All these freaking silver lances I bought and then never used. Why did this happen? Glass sword OP. Wee. Much fun. I guess I don't actually need this much money, although I could forge my hit rate as well. I'd do it. But if I save before I forge, I can go back. Well, that doesn't even... Yeah, maybe it just doesn't matter. Maybe it just doesn't matter. We can't forge the Camus's pike, can we? I would assume not. You can forge the Master Sword? Oh my god. Oh man, imagine having this much money. How? I mean... Okay, we can get these stats cheaper by a lot by forging the glass sword. The question is... Suppose... If we have the ability... So we get 5 rescues. 3 of them, at least 2 of them are gonna be on... We actually don't get 5, we only get 4. Because we don't have another healer up there. Or we can use the Again staff to do a rescue if that made sense. So at least 2 of them are going to be presumably on Merrick. I mean, maybe if that's not the case, if it turns out that we can get in striking distance, then whatever. But let's assume for the sake of argument, like we've got Sirius and Minerva both at 10 movement, and they both need to get to the same relative position. So assuming one of them can get there, the other one can get there, which means we need 2 rescues, one on Merrick and one on Julian. And then the third rescuer and rescue Marth. And the fourth one, if we can get Sharur and Zane both in position, can rescue Ina. Sharur attacks, gets danced, attacks again, and then Zane attacks. And we'll need a heal in the middle there. Which if the third rescue is on Fina, no, the fourth rescue is on Phoenix, the third rescue is on Marth. So which means we don't have anybody available to use a recover at that point. Which means a Fortify needs to be enough to heal Sharur, which it probably will be. Or we don't. We have one unit that is literally just there to trade the sword. And where I'm going with this is if we land, if we're doing 21 damage across 3 attacks, and then we get another 14 from 1 crit, that's 35 damage, which is enough in conjunction with Marth attacking twice to kill. We get 2 crits, it goes up to 49 damage, which is still not enough to kill with a single Marth attack. We get 3 crits, it is. So but we'd have to use the Again, I think, right? 3... no, wait. No, that's probably not true. 63... Yeah, never mind. Marth has to attack twice, no matter what. But we only need 1 crit. Which means trying to scrape the money together to forge the Master Sword is probably overkill, considering we're not going to get there, right? Like, the extra crit over and above the 30 that we can put on the Glass Sword. Where is it's in your inventory? Now, another consideration here is what happens if we get crit on 2 different attacks without having a dance involved? Then what? We get 42 damage, which again is enough. If we get crit, no crit, that's 28 damage, and that's not enough. This is if Marth attacks twice. Right, because if Marth attacks twice, we need 46... Wait, no, I'm doing the math on this all wrong. I think I was thinking about if Marth crits. If Marth doesn't crit. If he attacks twice but doesn't crit, he does 46 damage, and then we need 53 damage, which requires 2 crits from the Swordmasters. There's 21 base damage, 14 gets to 35, another 14. No, actually, we need... Yeah, that just... So we still need Marth to crit, even if we make 3 attacks, unless we crit with all 3 of them? 21 times 3 is 63. And then Marth can just hit twice for 46, and that's enough. If you knock 63 down to 49, which would be 40... or 14 plus... Oh, that doesn't math. What am I must be doing something wrong with my math here. 3 attacks, base, 21. 1 crit gets you plus 14 to 35. Another crit gets you plus 14 to 49. Yes, that's accurate. 49 from 2 crits plus 46 from 2 Marth hits is not enough to kill. 49 plus for 2 crits plus a third hit. So Marth still needs to crit. Yeah, that's annoying. And is all the more reason not to really care about that much about what the crit rate is here, because it doesn't really matter. We would need... I mean, if we get the 3 crits... I guess if we get the 3 crits, then Marth doesn't need to crit it. Is that more likely... If we forge a plus 50 crit sword, then we have a 1 in 8 chance of critting 3 times, right? 3 coin flips, 2 cubed, or 1/2 cubed, whatever. If Marth needs to crit once, he takes 2 swings with 17% to crit, which means he's got 83% chance to not crit, which means his chances to not crit across 2 hits are between 0.64 and 0.7, probably. Like 0.66 maybe, or something like that. So we're looking at 35-ish% chance, 34, maybe 33. 34% chance for him to crit. That seems too high. I must be doing the math wrong for that, because it's not going to be linear, 17 plus 17. Ugh. 83 squared, or 0.83 squared. I mean, 0.8 squared is definitely 0.64. Maybe 0.83 squared is... Or maybe the 0.03 is more than... affecting it more than I think. I'm sure this is riveting. So, it's got to be less than 34%, because it doesn't make sense for it to be linear. Like 17 plus 17. Like, it's not additive that way. But maybe it's like a 30% chance. Whatever. The point is, it's more than 12.5%. It's well more than 12.5%. So, not that that's not like exactly a trade-off, but like if I were going to save Scum for like one of those sets of outcomes, it'd be easier to save Scum for Marth critting than for like a triple crit from the Swordmasters. Now, if Marth crits once, he does an extra 46 damage, so plus the 46 that he's going to do at base is 92, and then the Swordmaster just needs to hit him. The advantage of having the Swordmaster crit is there isn't really any advantage at that point that I can think of. I mean, in theory, like having the crit here provides insurance. Like it provides another route. Like we can attack with the Swordmasters first, see what happens, and then based on that, decide whether we need to try to have Marth crit. So I guess what I'm thinking here is, like, it would still be valuable to forge the Master Sword. It would have some value, but I bet I can't make it to, 100,000 plus gold anyway, so I think I'm not going to worry about it. If we wanted to forge hit on this thing, we could spend a lot of money on it, but not actually that much money. Another 14k, I'm sure we can afford that. Medius has... Did I say 50 avoid? And you have 144 hits. So we definitely don't need that much hit. We only need like 6 hit. Call it 10 hit just to be conservative in case it's being affected by supports or whatever. 15 hit, I don't know. Doesn't really matter. We'll go 20, and we only need to sell a couple more things. So do Lance, Killer Lance, Rider's Bane, Rider's Bane, Wing Spear, Wing Spear. Let's sell some axes too. This is already more than I need. Alright. I guess I could keep going to see if I can get the money for the Master Sword, but like, I'm pretty sure I'll top out at like 70 or 80k, something like that. So let's just do this. Okay, I'm gonna save that. Get another new file. And I'm gonna pick, like, so I think we can deploy Catria and Aloe just because they've been cool and reliable characters, been with us, doing good stuff, and specifically, literally their job here, if they can manage it, is going to give us the option of trading the sword around. I mean, I don't know that it's going to matter, but depending on the exact configuration, it might matter. So, if we're assuming that we're going to rescue Julian and Merrick anyway, they can start in the back, although we're also probably assuming that Etzel and company don't need to make it up front, so you, I guess, let's see. No, Minerva wants to be on the right side. You're gonna get to Maria. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you are in range to get there in 2 turns. The problem is going to be having you not die in the coming enemy phase. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right. So we might need... how do we have a front line against these guys, though? These guys are up to 28 speed, 26 speed. We won't get double... Like, we can change these guys back to paladins, and then they won't get doubled. You can front line that, but the problem is I need you to be close to full health, at least. 60 attack. So you're gonna take 41 damage. Yeah, that's gonna be a problem. That's gonna be a problem. Like, what we might actually need to do... But if we have to... See, if we have to use Fina to, like, dance for Sirius so that he can get into position to start the talk chain, you know, or dance for Minerva, whatever, that's gonna cut down on our options significantly. I mean, we do have the 2 again staves, but we can't heal and use an again staff, and we if one of our... We know we're gonna use an again on Marth. Let's say, for the sake of argument, Etzel's gonna do that. Militia... I mean, if we can get the little extra bit of damage in before Marth attacks, Marth doesn't need to be healed. Like, if we just go for the Marth crit anyway, all we need attack-wise is Marth, Sharur. That's it. The 7 damage is enough. The crit on the sword and all that is extra. Is more like another alternative. So given that, we don't need Fina to do anything necessarily, but well, to do anything, I guess. I mean, or Militia even, right? We use 1 Again Staff on Marth, and that's it in terms of facilitating the attack itself. Which means we could use the other Again Staff to help get into position. We could use the dance to help get into position. And if we're willing to rescue let's see. Right, if we're willing to have the rescues be 3 recruiters plus Marth, then the first person to do the recruiting can just get danced. The Again Staff can be used on the other Again Staff. The one that isn't being used on Marth can be used on Sharur, and at that point... Oh, I didn't actually use my potions on Marth. Done that. At that point, we have all the attacks we need. The only thing that we have left to do is get the crit, essentially. So I think that's the play. I mean, it's kind of lame to rig a crit, but I don't know how else we're supposed to take him down efficiently unless, like I said, we can just make our way slowly up the map and kill all the enemies. But I mean, honestly, I wholly expect that that's not actually going to be an option that we're actually given in any case. So okay, so given all that, who do we want to be the closest? It doesn't really matter? Doesn't really matter. We're gonna have rescues, we're gonna have dances, we're gonna have, again, nobody really needs to be in striking distance. Zane potentially is not even relevant. That being said, the closer he can be up here, the more likely that he can, like, run up and do something. Although it still seems unlikely. Yeah, maybe we don't even worry about that. Maybe, like, the crit part of the forge is just moot. And it might be better... Well, I don't know. Oh, you know what Zane could do is he could kill this dragon. Maybe. Maybe not. You could do that without needing any sort of assistance in terms of movement. Actually, killing it might be another question. So if we look at you, and we say we're going to grab a Worm Slayer and we're going to equip that for a second, and Zane's going to copy your stats. Then we have 48 attack, and that's going to do 27 times 2 and is not going to kill this guy. So if we did want to kill him, we would need another unit to attack. Recruit of Lena is Julian. It seems really unlikely that Julian can finish this dragon off. Really unlikely. But, just for the sake of argument, what's your strength? 7. 7 plus 21. Oh, you can't even use it. So never mind. Okay. So that's not gonna happen. I mean, we can use one of Pala, Catria, with a Dragon Pike. Get the finishing blow there. Seems fine. Wouldn't actually have to be the Dragon Pike either. Could just be like the Gravis. Probably. Here, take one of these two, I guess. I don't know, whatever. And in case it matters, I guess you could take that. This thing. Actually. That thing. Say this guy's got enough defense. No, Hit-X probably would. Yeah, Hit-X would actually be enough. You can, I guess, Pally, you can have the Hit-X. Okay. I think we have what we need to try this out. I think we do. Oh, but you need to actually have that Worm Slayer. One last check to see whether any of these doodads over here are relevant. Speed, luck, res, skill. You both have maxed skill. Luck. Medius has 30 crit. That's kind of a lot. You do not have maxed luck, so you should take a luck potion. Be 40% reduction in Medius' chance to crit. Pretty good. 25 luck, 18 luck. I doubt that either of those are threatened. No, they're not. For some reason, we needed to kill a dragon out on the side. I mean, we don't know that they won't move, so we could need to do that. We do have some 20 crit dragons, so we might as well get Pala. Luck Bond. No reason not to. I guess there's no reason not to give some people res bonds either. I mean, doesn't. Although it really doesn't. It's really hard to see it mattering. If for some reason, I guess Fina could survive an attack from this guy with a res bond. This is physical damage, I believe. It's amazing that she has 0 res. How many times did she level up to get to the point where she had 0 res? She might have started at level 1. I would believe that. Yeah, I guess we might as well give Marth 1 too. I mean, what the heck? He has 0 res too. He didn't start at level 1. I can tell you that, but still. Alright. There really is nobody else who's going to benefit from luck. Well, I guess you guys, but I'm just going to have to keep you out of harm's way. There's no question about that. But nobody else is going to benefit from luck. Skill doesn't really matter. We never did use that skill book. Good job, me. Very good with my resource allocation. Alright. Let's see what we got here. Rapidly escalate into mayhem. Yeah, that definitely sounds like reinforcements. Banish some Earth Dragons. Get out of here. Nobody wants you. Is there a throne at the top of this thing? Eh. Okay. Wait. These guys don't, like, have somehow more range than these guys, right? No. I guess I'll just turn on all the enemy ranges, because somehow there's some shenanigans. Would like to know. Okay, so we want to put you up front, Zane behind. We want. Who is the Hammern? Oh, the rescue. Sorry, the rescue. But it does matter who has the Hammern. Ah, okay. I may have not done this positioning quite right. And also, I should have set myself up to do a recovery here. Whoops. Yeah, because you want to be on the right side, for sure. Alright, whatever. We'll just fortify twice, who cares? Or maybe once will be enough, I don't know. Yeah, you're not gonna die at 49 HP to this thing, so that's good enough. Alright. So Fina, you dance for Malaysia. And then Minerva's gonna come up here, and you're going to... that. Okay. And Sirius is gonna stop right over here. Marth. There. Oh, are we gonna be in range of this guy? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Nope! Good job, me. Alright, well, hopefully it won't matter. That's where we are. Guess you might as well Fortify to heal Zane, whatever. Because if this works, it's not gonna matter that he used it. Might as well be at full health. Okay, they are moving, which could be a good thing. As long as they don't block the way too badly. Which it looks like they are not doing, so that's good. Okay. Yeah, killing this guy... Probably not actually relevant, but... So what we're gonna do... If you're here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, yep, you get where you need to go. So you... go here... Dance. Trade that. Okay, so now we want Merrick. Now we need to think about how we want to be situated up here. We may also end up wanting to use this save point, it occurs to me, which Catria can do while attacking this guy with the Gradavis. So that's good to know. That we have that option. So we're gonna rescue, and then Merrick is gonna talk to Elise, and then Elise is gonna rescue Sirius, and then Nina's gonna rescue Julian, and then Lena's gonna rescue Marth. And so the question is, does it matter where any of them end up? I think it doesn't actually matter. I think it doesn't. That is my belief. No, it does matter because we have to trade the rescue staff with the rescued person. Wait, does this not work? Because they trade. Oh no, because then yeah. It works. It works. So like so for example, if we go here and we rescue Merrick, and then Merrick comes here, trades the rescue staff, talks to Elise. Then Elise trades the rescue staff, rescues. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure this all works as expected. I hope I'm not wrong. I don't know why I'm bothering with this at this point, other than the rescue staff, I mean, but anyway. Oh, is he like into her? Is she into him? Is that why it was him and not Marth? Okay, that maybe that's that. I don't remember this coming up at all before. Maybe. Okay, cool. So now do this. We rescue Sirius. And then grab this, I don't think it matters. And we talk to Nina. Oh, she actually knows. Okay. Well, I guess that makes she would. Oh, sure. Sure you don't. Oh no, wait. We have to... We don't need the rescue staff for this, right? Oh, no, wait. No, the person will just run up. Yeah, it doesn't matter where we're standing. Okay, yeah. This continues to confuse me for reasons that are unclear. Right, we didn't even need to do this, because you can just run over here, and I was probably overcomplicating this. TikTok, move that frog. That's what we said to her in the first game. Oh, jeez. Forgive you? I guess. Martha didn't really participate. You look very happy right now. Give us a smile, Marth, come on. Alright. Now... So what is with these tiles, anyway? Oh, they're also altars. Interesting. And rescue... Wait. How were we getting you up here? We're gonna use the again staff. Okay. Yeah, no problem there. Okay. We don't need to bother with the other stuff. So... You run up... And then... And this thing does have infinite range, right? Yeah. Okay, so here's the question. When do we want to use the save point? mean, we're not expecting a crit here to matter, so there's no real reason to worry about it, I guess. Just, do the thing. Oh, animation. His claws moving. Oh, he's rocking out. Well, we did get the crit, so hooray for that, I guess. Alright. Oh, we can't use this save point and attack at the same time. What am I talking about? Well, whatever. Alright, save point activated. Now, Marth. Can you crit? Ooh, your crit's up to 22. Support in the house. And you're not getting crit in return. Very good, very good, very good. He didn't crit. Well, time to see if he does. This time, or if we get a game over. We have no ability to heal him, so... just all or nothing. Nope. Get wrecked. Dead. Alright. Whatever. We can try again. Very easily. There it is. Eat it. Good thing I didn't break the again staff, or either of the again staves, because if I had, this would be a lot harder right now. A lot harder. Or the rescue staff, for that matter. But as it is, an hour of prep time and 20 minutes of gameplay. That's the way we roll around here. Down he goes. Why have you been defeated so easily? Well, you shouldn't have left a save point. Would have been a little bit harder. Never forget. And there you have it. I don't know what saving this does, but let's find out. Yeah, that... honestly, I'm glad I decided to just work my way through that, because it probably would have been... taken a lot longer and been more annoying to figure out how to beat that if I had, like, stuck with my initial idea of, like, I'm gonna just sort of play it and see what happens and then go back. Working my way through it turned out to be pretty doable. I think, also, for all that this game was a lot tougher, I think, than Shadow Dragon in general, final chapter in Shadow Dragon I found to be way more difficult. So, that's something. Yeah. are not dead. Congratulations. Lorenz? Well, I guess he was that, like, guy that I killed last game that I could have recruited. And I'd forgotten how early you get serious. It's so weird. Nope. The power of friendship. There you go. Gotta have somebody mention it, right? Wait, they don't realize that Sirius is Camus? They're not very attentive then. Wait, does Zane have pointy ears? He doesn't, right? And Goto. Whatever. And so many characters that I did not use. So many characters just in general. I guess if you play on lower difficulties, maybe you can use a larger amount of the cast, but like, gosh, you get so many characters in this game. It's kind of like the everyone is here in Radiant Dawn, except even more ridiculous. Especially because you get them and they're there. It's not like you hop around. It's like they're all just there. Except for, I guess, the prologue stuff, but... Whoa. Only for, like, the very end, Michaelis, come on. This is good. Wow. Deep insights. Oh, I guess we don't know if Goto has pointy ears. Alright, fair enough. It's interesting that this conversation is being had with Malaysia. Like, I get it from the perspective of her support with Sheeta, but, like, she doesn't otherwise seem like such a significant character that they would assume, I don't know, that she'd be alive and all of that. No, Sheeta, you were definitely helpful. You could have gotten more strength. I mean, I'm not going to deny that, but you were still helpful. Especially when we were fighting, you know, winged spear killable dudes. Which wasn't for that long in this game compared to last game, admittedly. I think, like, Sheeta's, like, clearly the best unit in Shadow Dragon, right? And in this game, I mean, obviously she's behind, you know, Chris, Avatar, whatever. But she's probably also not as good as, like, Katria or Pala. Maybe she's not even as good as Sirius? I don't know. Militia's pretty good too, but I don't know if that's like a Militia specific thing or it's like she's the one I just ended up investing into. Like, I can imagine that you pick whatever mage and they end up good. That was kind of how it felt to me with last game with Lena. Or whatever healer, I guess, in both of their cases, but 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. I did the same thing with Merrick last game, and Etzel was definitely more like the pre-promote type thing, where he wasn't like that good, he just had high weapon ranks, but, you know. He could crit hard with that Excalibur tome. That was nice. Man, how ill are you? Are we gonna go back through all the characters again? Jeez. What? Do that by becoming Sail, right? I'm still not sure who they're talking about. These two. Save who? Orion was literally trying to kill you, Merrick. Are you sure about that? You shouldn't apologize? Okay, I guess we can't see Zane's ears either. Or Bantu's. So yeah, this is the excuse that they have so they can shoehorn this character into the story without it like changing the story, but it's actually a pretty good excuse, honestly. I have to admit, like the idea of like sort of deflecting the glory onto the monarch like would make a lot of sense from like a sort of political angle. Yeah. My other half. Whoa, Marth. That's not what you use that term for. I guess you said other half, not better half, but yeah, still, I feel like... United Kingdom of Arcania. Oh my gosh, that's annoying. Sorry, I didn't... The way that I had the layout, it's now gonna like re-show the text on the right after it's scrolled by the left. Oof. It's a really bad presentation. They weren't all young warriors. What about Riss? Let's see how absurdly many turns and actually long. Wow, 11 turns, 11 minutes? What was going on in that chapter? Oh no, it's doing it again. Just have to ignore the right side, I guess. I think chapter 4 is where the main campaign got really nuts. Yeah, 24. Although 43 chapters for chapter 3. What was that? Dang. I think chapter 4 was the one where Sirius showed up and it was just like a total mess. Like trying to get like to him in time and all that stuff. Like all those tons of reinforcements. 2 mages. That was the one with the river in the middle in Elrian, I assume. Oh, how I spent 23 turns on it. What I was doing. Because I remember it being pretty fast. I guess there was like a long mop-up time I was trying to open chests or something. Honestly, these turn counts aren't as bad as I thought they were going to be. I was expecting to see more things in like the 30s or 40s. There you go, 45 turns to take out Harden. And then all of a sudden at the end of the game, we're like, Let's go fast. Although, 11 turns to... Oh, right. Yeah. It was the Dragon's Altar was like the one where I had to go fast, and the Dark Pontifex was like getting up to the top and then killing Garneth while he was trapped in that room. Yeah. Oh, now we have unit records too. Oh man, there's a lot of stuff. Oh, the guitar. One battle, 0 wins. Good job. Why did Ryan... Oh, I guess because Ryan was available in the prologue and Gordon was not. I was going to say, why did Ryan get into more combat than Gordon? Drog. And Drog did a lot of work for me until he suddenly stopped not being so deployable. He died of illness shortly after the war. Jeez. That is a surprisingly low number of fights for a character that I used the entire game, essentially. She saw less combat than Ryan, I think. Katria. 237 battles, 97 wins. Let's go, Katria. Good unit. She joined before Warren? Dang. What? That's not how that works. Oh, wow. Pala saw a lot fewer fights, but got almost as many kills as Katria. That's interesting. Julian got a kill. I wonder when that happened. I wonder if the battle that Mathis had was him attacking me before I could recruit him. Ah, Riss was like, that's like on the Gaiden chapter you recruit him, he like gets attacked by some enemy. That's probably what that one battle is. I did actually use Yumina for a while, but I guess nobody ever managed to attack her. Probably for the best, she probably would have crumpled like paper. He makes like one attack in his joining chapter. Serious. That's a lot fewer kills than Katria and Pala. Huh. A little surprising. And now Katria is still the winner for kills, but we know who's going to be number one. Question is, did Katria have 98? I think she had 98. I think she beat Sheeta by 1. I am surprised that Sheeta had so many more than Sirius, and yet Sirius had, like, I'm surprised that Sheeta's right there with Katria and Pala, but that Sirius isn't. I guess there were probably some chapters where I wasn't playing Sirius or something, because there was like a stretch where his stats like dipped before they like caught back up. I don't really know why that happened. Like he wasn't leveling well, and then all of a sudden he started leveling well again or something. okay. Wait, so who's his sister? Discarding his Dragonstone. Why would he do that? George has probably got the most kills of anybody outside of like my core group. There's just not that many enemies in the prologue, and then oh well, okay. Does Minerva count as part of the core group? I don't know. It's like on the periphery. I'm honestly surprised she got that many kills. I think Etzel had more kills than Militia, probably just because of how often Excalibur was a better thing to hit with than, you know, the Shaver or whatever. Plus, of course, Militia's better at healing, so... More responsible than her father. Huh. Seems like they managed to do that several thousand times over. I realized I totally didn't process what Sirius's ending was. I assume it says, like, records of him were lost or something. I mean, we know what happened to him. He went to... Either he went to Valentia, or maybe that was in between. I'm not actually sure. Three kills for Zane. Probably should have used him more, to be honest. 3 kills for Tiki. I think Nagi probably beat that. So does that mean that the Valentia's thing is after that? Because that's when she went to Valentia? Maybe. They would have known that at the time they were writing this because... Like, in the original game, I mean, because... This is from FE3, so... His spare time? That's a weird way of putting it. Get married in your spare time. actually, it's interesting to me thinking about this. Like, we didn't really have that many characters with that many kills. I kind of thought there were like just sort of more enemies in this game than these kill counts are leading to me to believe. But, like, again, I didn't play it fast, right? Like, I'm sure if you play fast, you get low kill counts, but I didn't play fast. McAllis didn't actually end up in any fights across the saving and loading. 10 kills for Nagi. Imagine, like, actually getting kills with Nina or Elise or Nina or Maria in the final chapter. That would be so absurd. Like, I wonder if that's even possible. I guess maybe if you play on a low enough difficulty and, like, forge them a tome. I'm like, my assumption is their attack. Well, some of them don't even have. No, I guess they're all promoted, right? I think they're all promoted. But some of them probably don't have the attack power to, like, damage some of those dragons. Or maybe, I guess they probably do. Their res isn't that high. 365 battles, 156 wins. Let's go. That's where all the kills are. Marth got 58 kills? What? Really? That's more than Sirius, isn't it? A little bit, I think. Crazy. Speed A? Tactics B? Excuse me, what? Speed A? What is this? What is this tactics rating based on? What the heck? Is it just because I didn't beat it on Lunatic Reverse? Is there an S rank and that's why I didn't, like, my speed can be A is because it could have been S? What the? Survival A, I mean, I did lose a character, technically, and then I didn't recruit Katarina. But I doubt that counts against you for survival, which probably means that there is no S rank. What on earth can this tactics rating mean? Usually speed and tactics are basically the same. Or maybe it's like a level thing? Isn't that how it works in FE7? There's three ratings, right? There's like funds, survival, and tactics, but I think tactics is mostly speed, right? In Advanced Wars, there's like the power rating, which is how many enemies you kill. Although it's in there, it's like the largest number that you killed in a single turn, which is really dumb. But I don't know. I don't really care. I'm just confused. Event recap and sound room. Oh boy. You beat hard mode or above. Reclass limits have now been lifted. You can now play Reverse Lunatic. Extra items will be stocked in the Preparations Armory. Huh. Don't know what that means. My understanding is that there's some DLC maps here, but I think maybe I would have to, like I'm not going to be able to connect to anything, right? So, yeah. So, I guess, if you want me to play the DLC maps, like, find a way to play the DLC maps, leave a comment, maybe tell me how to do that, and I'll try to figure it out, but I am probably going to forget if nobody says anything, so just know that that's the case. Other than that, before I sign off here for this playthrough, a couple of other things I want to mention. The first is that my next playthrough is going to be... well, actually, it's going to be two things. I am going to play Conquest Lunatic. Haven't actually done that. I did get at least one request for that, and it was the most enticing option to me. I haven't done any of the 3DS games on my channel, so this will be my my opportunity to see how well like the Citra emulator does. I mean, I own all the games, but I don't have a capture card, so gonna be emulating. But yeah, I think, although actually now that I say it, I remember I was actually also considering doing Awakening Lunatic or Lunatic Plus instead. I think I'll go ahead and do Conquest, even though like Awakening is like the, came first, just because I think Conquest Lunatic is going to be more interesting. Like, I'm pretty sure, from my understanding, I'm pretty sure Awakening Lunatic, and especially Lunatic Plus, is mostly bullshit, whereas Conquest is like legitimately interesting. So I'm going to be doing that. The other thing I'm going to be doing is playing Wargroove, because I actually got that as a gift from a friend. And it's a game that I've wanted to play since it came out and just like never got around to it. But it was a good opportunity. I've actually started playing the game a little bit already, but I've been recording it. I'm going to be uploading it. So my plan going forward is I'm going to be uploading Conquest Lunatic probably once a week instead of twice a week, and then the other day I'll put up the Wargroove stuff. So if you're interested in that, check it out. The other thing I wanted to mention is just my final thoughts on this game. So, definitely Lunatic mode here is just, like, crazy difficult. Easily the toughest... Maybe not easily. Shadow Dragon on Hard 5 was pretty darn difficult as well. But I would say, overall, the most difficult Fire Emblem game I have played... I think it goes... or at least have beaten. I think it goes right now for me, this followed by Shadow Dragon Hard 5, followed by probably Radiant Dawn, I guess, hard mode. I mean, at this point, for the most part, I mean, I guess I could look at like the 0% stuff I've done. But like, there's a pretty big step down from the DS games to anything else that I've beaten. And I know there's some other hard games in the series that, I haven't done. Like, I haven't done Conquest Lunatic. I've done Conquest Hard, but I haven't done Awakening Lunatic or Lunatic Plus. I haven't done FE6, which is supposed to be pretty hard. But I guess Three Houses Maddening. Three Houses Maddening is weird. Like, because the difficulty is much more front-loaded compared to this. Like, you get the really brutal first several chapters, and then, like, you start to get class changes and things, and you start to be able to actually do stuff. And then, like, there is a point where, like, the enemies start to catch up to you again and pass you because their growths are just, like, accelerated past what you can keep up with without grinding. And so there's a stretch where you're like potentially getting doubled and you can't do much, and then your characters take off and you start to be able to like double things and kill things just fine, and then like the enemies start catching up, and then like suddenly like you're at risk of getting doubled again, and there's a lot of enemies you can't double, and then it stops mattering because like you get all these kill boss maps where you can just like rush the boss and end it in like 1 turn or 2 turns. So it's like a weird... The difficulty curve is very weird in that game, but I would say overall, like, this is definitely tougher than Three Houses Maddening. Shadow Dragon is too. Is Radiant Dawn hard mode? Probably not for me, but I don't know about for other people. I guess I've just played more of Radiant Dawn, but anyway. But yeah, I think that both of the DS games are a significant step up from the others. Okay, but difficulty aside, what do I think about this game? So, I will say I'm not a big fan of some of the stuff that you run into in the late game where you, like, the stat caps are so prominently featured in, like, the way that the game plays. Like, the fact that I'm like, oh, I have to class change out of Wyvern because I'll just get doubled. Like, that's... I don't know. That's not very fun. Because, like, not just because it's like, I want to be a Wyvern and have lots of movement, but it's like, you know, I lose my defense, I lose my weapon ranks. You know, I've sort of invested into the class, right? Like, and then I, you know, kind of get punished for it. I mean, it's not like strictly the case that you can't do it as a wyvern, but it's like I would rather, you know, have a little bit more flexibility there, and then like conversely, like being able to change everyone into sword masters to solve the problem is kind of silly. Like it feels like you have a little bit too much flexibility there. To me, there's, you know, other people have talked about this before. This is not an original idea, but there can be like a lack of differentiation among characters that results from that, where you're like not really feeling like, you know, this character is providing something unique versus that character, and it's sort of like you just you're this like they become fairly homogenous, and then like the fact that their stats end up pretty similar makes them more so. The weapon ranks are like one of the differentiators, right? But then like that's the thing where, you know, if you have to change classes, now you're like, you kind of get hosed. So I don't know, it's a little bit awkward in that way. I did appreciate the fact that compared to Shadow Dragon, I would actually say in general that the reinforcements felt more fair. For all that I complained about some of the reinforcements in the later chapters, there were the ambush spawns that they had tended to be, I felt, more predictable. Maybe that was just because I got used to the logic that they tend to use, but it felt like there were more times in Shadow Dragon where I was just like, what the heck? And here there was more times where I'm like, I sure hope there aren't reinforcements in these forts. Oh, yep, there are. Okay, you know, fine. Like, but like it wasn't like totally out of the blue. There also aren't any infinite reinforcements that I'm aware of, which I appreciate. There are some in Shadow Dragon. I like the fact that they didn't do that way. I mean, ambush spawns are still BS, but it is better. I think let's see. It was cool to have. I mean, I talked about the base stuff like ages and ages ago, but it was cool that some of the like kind of Radiant Dawn or generally Tullius like stuff sort of came back here with like the way that the base works, where you get to like the extra conversations and stuff like that. Not a big fan of the like I found an item, I found like I get some experience, like whatever that. I kind of want like that's an aspect of randomization that I'm not like thrilled with in general in modern Fire Emblem. You know, like there's a big difference between getting, you know, what was that, like a bamboo sword or toy bow or whatever that, you know, versus getting like the Camus pike, where I guess it's like as strong as a silver lance and has 20 crit. Like there's such a huge gap in power level, like that I don't really want to like to have be part of things. I suppose you could always just like never go into that little menu though. So it's but then it's like lit up, right? There's a little icon. You can't make the icon go away without going in there, so it's a real problem. I thought in general the level design in this game was pretty compelling. There was there were some really challenging maps. Obviously, a ton of really challenging maps. But they often had like ultimately like pretty interesting ways to approach them and beat them. Like whether it was like the couple times that I would do like the like run somebody in, kill one enemy, rescue back out, like to lure them out, or like find, you know, like just like the right positions to absorb attacks, or like there were a few times where it was even like, okay, if this, you know, I can, you know, bait this one enemy into attacking this character, then this other character can tank, you know, where they wouldn't be able to tank like so many attacks. but they're going to take like that -1, like that sort of thing. Like figuring that stuff out could definitely be frustrating at times, but I mean, I think it was like legitimately interesting too. There's some stuff that I think is just like overkill with some of the siege tomes that like have a billion uses and like fortify spam and stuff like that, where I think there are some situations where they take too many tools away from you in effect, like tools like being able to do some chip damage like to an enemy on enemy phase and have that stick and things like that. But I do think like that the actual design of the levels, like, so I guess I think some of that there was some difficulty there that I probably could have done without, but there was real thought put into the placement of the enemies, I think. If not, then it's just like surprising like how well it fits together. But yeah, I think, you know, like the way that the enemies are laid out, even it's like, maybe the way to say this, even when it was bullshit, it was like intended bullshit. It's like, yeah, you got this siege tome here and you're not going to be able to reach him and you got to deal with that, like, and we meant for you to be able to have to deal with that. And even if I think like, man, why would you do this to me, like, it was deliberate. It wasn't just like, whatever, here's just some enemies. So I think that's, you know, that's cool. The prologue stuff was really neat. And in general, the side quest or the guidance chapters or whatever, the story may have been a little weird, but like it was cool to have like the smaller maps, smaller deployments, and just like have those like kind of tighter experiences. Except for the Fog of War. The Fog of War was terrible, especially the second of the 2 chapters. Absolutely atrocious implementation of Fog of War. I think, I'm trying to remember if I said this at any point. I think I finally did figure out, like, after playing the chapter, what how the fog works, which is that I think the way that it works, the reason I was like lighting up extra tiles and was confused, like, why am I lighting this tile up, is I think it actually matters how you path through the fog. And so, like, you go, you know, up and to the left, you know, you'll see tiles up, even if you don't see them at, like, where you end up, but you'll see them if you were within 2 squares as you traveled through, or something like that, which is not the case in, like, any other Fire Emblem game that I'm aware of, but I think that's how it worked. It was really confusing to, like, figure out, but I think that was what was going on there. But yeah, just give me some torches or something, like, come on. Anyway, what else is there to talk about? I don't know. Lunatic Reverse seems like madness. Like, I guess if you know what you're doing and you can play faster and engage fewer enemies, that would help. But, like, holy crap. Like, those Glower sorcerers, you know, all those dragons, like, having to, like, let them hit you before you can hit them, like, sounds so painful. So, I don't know how interested I am in trying that. This was plenty difficult as it was. I'm trying to think how I thought this compared to Shadow Dragon. I mean, they feel very much of a piece with each other. Like, they have pretty similar design philosophies. The big difference is that even on Hard 5, Shadow Dragon doesn't push the stat caps as hard, so you can... Like, I was playing the final chapter in Shadow Dragon with a bunch of wyverns, and it was fine. I think the stat caps themselves might have actually been the same, but the enemy benchmarks were not so demanding. And one other thing about that is that, like, the is like durability was all like I was talking about doubling earlier. Like damage output is pretty similar, I think. Like there's a fair amount of like stuff that you can one-shot if you've got like an effective weapon or you're going up against a mage. More so in Shadow Dragon than in this game for sure, especially because there's more stuff you can kill with the wing spear. But there's a fair amount of that for at least until you get to the late game here. Once you get to the late game, you stop being able to one-shot pretty much anything. But you could still 2-hit KO if you could actually double here. But like, yeah, the inability to double is a big deal. And then the durability, I mean, early in the game in Shadow Dragon, you have no durability, and that's true here as well. And then in the mid-game of each of them, you start to accrue durability. But the difference is that, like in Shadow Dragon, you continue to have that durability through to the end of the game, basically. And here you just don't. You just don't. Like, you cannot engage multiple enemies hardly at all. It's kind of insane. And that's definitely a big contributor to what makes it difficult and what makes the level design feel so intentional, because if you know that the player cannot engage more than maybe 2 or maybe 3 enemies at once, then like the way you position the enemies matters a lot more. Like if the player can tank like 8 enemies at once, it doesn't really matter that much. Like they just throw Seth in there or whatever, and he just like, it's like, I don't care. But if you know that they can't do that, then I think that is a big part of, like, that feeds into the level design feeling intentional. So on the one hand, it can be really frustrating to just like have no durability to speak of. But on the other hand, it does lead to some more interesting level design situations, I think. So it's kind of there's some tension there. I don't know what the right balance is. I think this leans a little too hard in the direction of like not giving you durability. Like I think my sweet spot for even not necessarily like for having like a lower difficulty, but just like having the difficulty tuned in a different way, I think my sweet spot would be to have a little bit more durability than that. But I do think the way this game is designed illustrates the advantages of not letting characters, some of the design advantages of not letting your units like be able to absorb tons of attacks on enemy phase. And because really, like, in general, the player phase oriented games are, in my opinion, like gonna be the more tactically interesting ones, because like end turn is not a particularly interesting tactic compared to things like, figuring out like, which, position you need to attack from in order to be safe or whatever. Although it's interesting because Radiant Dawn is one of my favorite games, and people often describe that as an enemy phase game, which isn't unfair, but I do think that like there's a lot you can do on player phase to like accelerate yourself in that game, and it changes a lot when you play on 0% gross, which is the most recent one run that I did. Yeah, I mean, certainly this game and Shadow Dragon both have like really bring that emphasis on player phase to the forefront. I guess one thing that would help would be like, okay, if you want to make a player phase oriented game, like how do you give the player more options on player phase to like enable that type of gameplay? And I think there is some stuff that, like having a dancer, for example, is that's something you can only leverage on player phase. Having things like the Again staff, that's a really cool concept. I don't think that's available in any other game. So yeah, thumbs up on that. Like a dance staff, I love it. The other mobility staves like rescue and warp, same deal. So like stuff like that. I think one thing that this game doesn't have, that we start to see in some of the later, entries, is skills, or like there's like things like pair up as well, where you can do some other cool stuff on player phase. There's also no like shove or like rescuing or rescue dropping or whatever like that, which are also like player phase actions. So I guess I think my ideal game would probably bring more of those elements in, so that you have more stuff you could do. Because like you can imagine, for instance, like I was talking about, there were those cases where I'd like send somebody in, attack, and then like rescue them back with the rescue staff. But you only do that so many times before you run out of rescue staves. But if you have like rescue the command, like Intellius, then you could actually, especially with like Super Kanto or whatever. This game doesn't have Kanto at all, but like I guess you don't need Super Kanto, you just need regular Kanto to be able to do it. But you get the point. Like you start to be able to do stuff with that. So I guess overall, I think it'd be cool to play a game with this level of difficulty, but where you have some more of those player phase tools to like make your options a little bit more dynamic. And I mean, I guess Conquest should have some of that. Like it's got pair up, and like there's some stuff you can do with that. So maybe I'll get to experience that there. But I don't think Conquest is going to have. I know Conquest Lunatic is hard, but I don't think the enemy stat or I don't think the enemy stats are as inflated. But I don't know. I haven't played it, so maybe I'm wrong about that. So yeah, that's I don't know. I don't think that was like a particularly coherent set of thoughts, but those are some of my thoughts about this game. Overall, I would say, like, I think it's definitely like a more deep experience than some some of the like easier games like FE7 or FE8, where like I'm having to engage my brain a lot more to beat this game than I am those. So and that's not too surprising, but still, like it's cool. But as far as like where it ranks among games for me, it's kind of hard to say, because I feel like I haven't gotten like a fair experience of the game. Like I'm sort of going into this doing something that wasn't really intended, by like not playing it on like a more normal difficulty first. So I have to like be careful about judging it too harshly for some of what I think is bullshit, because like most players wouldn't experience it that way. They would either the reinforcements wouldn't be there, or they'd be easy or whatever, and then they'd come back and play on the harder difficulty and they'd already know, or whatever. So I feel like I would need to play this on actually a lower difficulty to really have like a rounded sense of how I feel about the game. It's definitely, I can definitely say that like this game does not really have selling points outside of the gameplay. Like the art is still kind of the portraits are actually pretty good. And I guess the map sprites are alright. I'd never turned the animations on because I know how bad they are in Shadow Dragon. I mean, you can see at the end they're not really much different in the like fighting Medius, but the music's fine, I guess. But there were a few tracks that caught my attention here and there, but it's got nothing on either the Tellius games or the games that came after it, and probably doesn't even hold up against the GBA games. There's no voice acting, so like the presentation is whatever. So it's really all down to the gameplay. Oh, and the story. The story is also whatever. It loses points for being like Marth's quest to defeat Medius 2 Electric Boogaloo. it does have more going on comparatively. Like, there's like, because Harden is a focus for so long, but then it loses points for not having Harden be playable again. Like, Turban Man was one of my favorite units in Shadow Dragon, so why you gotta do me like that? So you gotta consider that as well. Yeah, I mean, the assassin side quest is all pretty silly. The prologue, the story of the prologue, even not accounting for the assassins, just sort of like the conceit of like we're joining up to be part of the Altean army, and we're gonna all be royal guards or knights or whatever, was pretty dull. I thought it just like didn't really like. I cannot relate to that like at all. Like, I want to go, like serve my liege is just like such an alien motivation to me. Like, it's used all over the place in Fire Emblem, and I just sort of have to accept it. But it's like having the entire, not just like a character be about that, but the entire like mini arc of the story. I'm like, whatever. Sure. So it's just not compelling. And then the actual, I mean, I do think some of the early beats in the story are kind of interesting. Like the idea that Marth gets like lured away from his homeland by this like conniving, suzerain, I think, like, because he's like essentially a vassal. That was interesting. That's a cool idea. Like, rather than he has to, like he just sort of loses at the beginning and then has to reconquer it. It's like he's taken the army and he's off doing something else. Like, that's, I don't know, maybe everybody already knows this. That seems ridiculous maybe to like a modern audience. The idea of like, what, your army is just like off somewhere else and you can't defend your homeland. Like, why would you do that? Like, why wouldn't you just have, like, why wouldn't you have enough forces at home, like, always to defend yourself? But it is actually the case, like, historically, in, sort of medieval warfare up through probably at least like the Renaissance. Like, that like is a thing that could actually happen. Probably not to the point where like, your country collapses because of it, but you could absolutely be in a situation where like your army goes, like, you have your army and it goes somewhere and fights, and then like if something goes wrong, I mean, probably not like a clever scheme way, but like something goes wrong, like you get stuck somewhere, like you can't get back in time for whatever reason. Like, you could legitimately like be in a situation where then your homeland gets invaded and you're just like not there. Like, that could totally be a thing. So, I mean, like, that was a good part of the plot, but most of the rest of it after that is just like, Marth has to conquer these people, and then he has to conquer these people, and then he has to conquer these people, and I don't know, there's just not too much to it. So the point being, presentation, story, it's all whatever. It really all boils down to the gameplay. The gameplay is very challenging, and it is definitely engaging. There are things that I would like to see improved, like, I mean, not that they're going to be in this iteration, but like in general, like if you were going to make another game, that tried to be this challenging, there's things I would like to see improved, but it, overall, I think it, it's definitely one of the more interesting entries. Like, I was talking about Three Houses Maddening earlier, and then to go back to that comparison, I definitely think it wins in terms of being interesting compared to Three Houses Maddening. Like, and Three Houses does have a bunch of those like player phase things that I was talking about earlier, but the enemy stats are often too inflated, even more so than in this game, like, to where it just doesn't make sense to fight some of the late game enemies. But then like the bosses are like, if you can avoid it, I mean, you can usually like gang tackle the like crazy like 50 speed assassins if you really need to, but then you know, conversely, like the number of defeat boss chapters that you can kind of like trivially beat, like it's like, I mean, it is cool to figure out, and it feels satisfying to figure out like how to 1-turn or 2-turn a map. But there is then it also feels like you're like a sort of underwhelming payoff in the sort of arc of the game, where the early game you're really spending like a lot of time on a chapter. And then you get to the late game when that's supposed to be like the denouement, like the culmination, and you spend, you know, it's like 10 minutes for this chapter and 10 minutes for this chapter and 10 minutes for this chapter, and you're like, where's the game? Like, what, you know, I mean, I did beat Medius quickly, although I spent like an hour of preps on it. But in general, this game doesn't have that problem at all. Obviously, it's like very, very challenging, like right up until the end. And even like beating Medius, it wasn't like a matter of figuring out. Well, I don't know. In the Medius fight could probably be better, but in general, like it's, you know, there's plenty of heft to the final chapters. So yeah, I don't know. That maybe it's too hard to balance a game like Three Houses when the player has so many like crazy tools like stride and gambits and combat arts and all that stuff. I don't know. Because like what I was describing on, you know, with this game and how you don't, you know, like there's not that many things you can do other than attack or not attack in a lot of cases. But you know, you add in all those Three Houses elements, and all of a sudden you get, if what you get is Three Houses, I don't know, maybe that isn't actually the way to go. But then again, maybe that's more a function of like the level design or whatever than like the core game mechanics. Not really sure. Anyway, I've probably rambled on for more than long enough at this point. I find this stuff really interesting to think about and talk about, but it is admittedly harder to have something coherent to say when you don't have somebody to bounce it off of. So I guess I will end this playthrough now. Thank you for watching, and I will hopefully see you back for either Conquest Lunatic or Wargroove or both, if you're interested in those. And if there's anything else Fire Emblem related you're interested in seeing me play, let me know. And even if I don't play it now, I may play it at some point in the future. So, thanks for watching, and so long.